This is the Cool Photo Tools Podcast, episode number 50, January 18th, 2016.
Are you sick of trying to learn all the new photo software? Are you tired of hearing about the next big thing in photography? Well, neither are we. Welcome to Cool Photo Tools with Pierstorff and Rhonda Spencer.
Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/coolphototools. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is Jay Pierstorff, and I'd like to welcome Rhonda Spencer at the back of the studio over there.
He always sticks me in the back.
Well, you know, it's just the way the tables are laid out today. I'll put you in the front tomorrow. I'll start your camera first. How's that sound?
All right.
Okay, so you know, when you're adjusting your headphones, you can see, everybody can watch Rhonda adjust her headphones on that. This, you might have noticed, those of you that are tuning in on video, this is our first video podcast. We have been up until episode 49, we have been audio only, so as not to distract you while you're driving. But now we have both. So if you're listening to the audio only podcast, good on you, because if you're driving, you shouldn't be watching this.
That's
Wait till you get home. You can watch it again on our YouTube channel, our Cool Photo Tools YouTube channel. And we've been talking about this because a lot of gear, sometimes, you know, it's hard to describe. We get stuck in like, well, and you take, and the knob is on the top, and see if you could just, and put your eye right up to the speaker, you know, and it's very difficult to communicate with what stuff looks like. And, you know, that's going to be the disadvantage of having a photography podcast. And we're still going to try our best to describe that to you. So those of you that are driving or can't look at a screen can then, of course, get an idea of what we're talking about. But you can also check our show notes. We always tell, you know, on our show notes what stuff we've been talking about. And now we have the audio podcast, which video podcast, I should say, which will then let you kind of take a look at some of the stuff that we have. Or if we don't have it in the studio, we can show you the website, kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Then you can go there yourself and check out all that kind of stuff. So good morning, Rhonda. Good morning. I just launched off into this. This is pretty exciting because this is our 50th episode.
Wow.
Are you excited?
I am. What a great way to start our 50th, where you can actually see us.
That's right. There's been a lot of demand, but we decided to do it anyway.
What, demand for us to quit? Or
No, that's not a good idea. Just stay audio.
Right.
Audio only.
Okay.
We're good with you on audio. No, I'm teasing, of course. But, you know, just kind of looking around at some of the other podcasts out there and decided, well, we could do that.
We can.
You know, why couldn't we do that? So here we are. Episode number 50. Well, you know, the Consumer Electronics Show wrapped up, it's about 2 weeks ago now. So we have that stuff to talk about. It's a little too soon to have all that stuff in person. But there's a lot of interesting things that we can talk about that should be coming out here in the next few months, if not already out. I don't think most of it's out yet. But have you ever been to the Consumer Electronics Show, Rhonda?
No, I stay home.
Well, I do now, but I have gone to the Consumer Electronics Show. It's been a few years ago, but I have been there. It is, and it's piled higher and deeper now, but it is a crazy, crazy event that they have every year in Las Vegas. And the Consumer Electronics Show pretty much encompasses everything that's consumer electronics. If it's got a plug on it or it takes a battery, then it's there. Maybe not even that. Pretty much, I think that's the restriction, though. I don't think there's any restriction. If you got money to afford a booth, you know, you're good to go for the Consumer Electronics Show. But it's huge. It's just you just walk your legs off. One person cannot see it all in the 3 or 4 days of the event. You have to narrow down what you're going to go see. You're going to go see the car stereos. You're going to see the computers or the cameras or what. You kind of have to keep it narrow. You can see a few things, but you're not going to get to it all. It's just too huge. And of course, cameras is kind of something that is interesting to us. And so there's a bunch of announcements from the camera manufacturers or photo-related companies. And so do you have something you want to start with that was from the Consumer Electronics Show, or you just want me to start?
No, you go ahead. I was
in?
kind of looking, seeing all the stuff that they've put out. It's a lot.
Yeah, since we record this episode a little bit in advance, actually, technically it's been 2 weeks, but not for us. So it's only been just a couple days for us. So, all right. So I think Nikon gets the bid for the most exciting announcements at the show. Nikon announced three cameras of note. Might be a couple more, but the Nikon D5 DSLR is like, good on you, Nikon. We were afraid you were asleep there for a while, but welcome back. Hey, it's good to know that you weren't just sleeping in Dusseldorf, as they say. The D5, it's got a 20.8 megapixel sensor.
The ISO is crazy on this one.
All right, so we've kind of we've stabilized on the So you got me going.
Sorry,
we've stabilized. We stabilized on the megapixels, at least for a minute. It was going crazy with the 38 and the 42s and the 50s and all that.
And now the 100.
Yeah. Well, no, this is megapixels. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the phase one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Nikon's got, this is a completely reasonable sensor, 20.8 megapixel. And of course, their new image processing and so on. But what Rhonda was alluding to was the ISO, which off the top of your head, do you remember what that was? Yeah,
above 3 million.
About 3,280,000, if memory serves me correctly.
That's crazy.
That's is that shooting in the dark? Do you actually need any light? Well, you got some light.
I think they may have just topped the 5D Mark III.
And that's probably due for an upgrade one of these days too. Canon was pretty much asleep during the show, but don't get me started. I'll have some things to say about Canon.
Canon's been talking about doing a new 5D, not the current 5Ds, but they just put out, but it was very interesting. They put out that they're putting one out, but they're not giving any information about it yet. Like, that's interesting. So you're going to put out a new camera, but don't tell anybody what's going to have on it, what it's going to do.
Well, that's because they want to see what Nikon did first.
Oh, there you go.
Like, that Nikon, doggone it. Oh, now I have to change ours. Oh, rats. Well, at least we waited until we heard. I'm just guessing. They don't tell me these things.
Well, having the high ISO would definitely tempt me to go if the Canon got a newer camera that has a better ISO on it.
Well, they'll have to respond, won't they? I mean, they're not going to be able to just let this stand as it is. They're going to have to do something to bring that around as well. So, and also now we're talking about the Nikon D5. It's got 12 frames per second, right? And that's good. That's not terrible. This is a sports camera. I would think this is action or sports type of a camera. And of course, they've increased their autofocus points. They've got 153 total, 99 of which are the cross type or the good ones. Okay, if you don't have good autofocus points, why don't you just leave those out? Okay, just give me the good ones. All right. So they're saying that that exceeds the capabilities of mirrorless cameras that are out there. Okay. But let's see how it actually performs. I'm sure it's a good performer. And here's the cool thing. A screen on the back, it's a touch screen, a 3.2-inch touch screen, and it's got, good resolution. And as you probably guessed, the video on the camera now also can shoot in the 4K resolution. And I think we expected that. We would probably be surprised if it didn't. But touchscreen, yay! If we're going to have an LCD screen, let's make it a touch screen, particularly on a camera. You can do stuff like follow focus or, select the autofocus point. There's even, we'll talk a little bit later about Panasonic with one of their Lumix cameras that has a new touch screen. And they also have a eye-level view. I guess we're just talking about it now because there I go. They have an eye-level viewfinder. This isn't a DSLR though. This is a pocketable, but still, they've got an eye-level viewfinder, and the touch screen on the back of the camera lets you, without taking your eye away from the eye-level viewfinder, lets you shift a focus point. How cool is that? And why isn't everybody doing that? That's a great idea.
It's amazing. Yeah, they've really stepped it up.
All right, I've got another Nikon to talk about. You want me to keep? Oh, we didn't talk about the price on this one.
Yeah, what is the price on this one?
I think it's going to come in under $7,000.
Wow.
Under $7,000, something like that.
Well, they're upper end cameras.
Yeah. Okay, so that's their new flagship for sports and action So good. We like that. Now, here's something that we didn't see coming at all from Nikon, and this is one called the Key Mission 360 action camera. And it's now everybody's doing this. This is the
I was going to say, is this Nikon's GoPro?
No, this is Nikon's Ricoh Theta. Well, see, GoPro doesn't actually do 360.
True.
Unless you get that one where they glue 6 GoPros onto a sphere. Mm-hmm. Well, they have a bracket that holds them. And, of course, then you that's a bit of processing to get the images all straightened out. This is all one camera, and it actually has 2 lenses. It's got one on one side, one on the other, just like the Ricoh Theta does. And it's so it can shoot the 360 degree with just, with one shot. Now, this is also designed to be in the same camp as the GoPro, where the Ricoh isn't. This, as they claim, is hardened and ready. It's tough. So they're claiming it could survive a drop of 6 feet, thanks to its specially designed tough case. And it's going to be. They didn't have a lot of information out on this, other than this is coming. This is going to be cool. And we're going to release it sometime later this year, and we don't know what it's going to be priced at, so we don't know.
Well, and waterproof down to 100 feet, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, see now, how deep is a spa? That's as deep as I would take it.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit less
5
than
feet, maybe
100 feet.
But it's probably just me. I'm sure there are people out there that will take advantage of this.
Jay's feet need to be able to touch the bottom of
That's right.
the pool.
I don't go. Yeah, because there's sharks. If you're not in a spa that's got chlorine, there could be sharks.
You go to different spas than I do.
Well, that's entirely possible.
That's completely possible.
So this is kind of a rasher of 360-degree cameras. There's a bunch of them coming out now. That's one from Nikon. Canon, where's yours? Hey, we're waiting. Sony, didn't see yours. Ricoh's is already out shipping. Now, admittedly, the Ricoh camera could use a little more resolution. It'd be nice, and that's probably the big thing that everybody's talked about with the Ricohs. If only it was 4K. If it was 4K video, it'd be awesome. Well, the Nikon's is going to be 4K, so we're waiting to see how awesome it actually is. And there also was an announcement from Kodak on a 360 camera as well, which this is the one that's out right now, which the model number escapes me, but we'll put a link to it in the show notes. It's about a $250 camera, but it only has one lens on it, so it's 360 it's not 360, it's just 180. But they've come out with a bracket so you can hook 2 of them together, and some new software so that you can make that into a 360 as well. And there's one more, if you want to just let me keep talking.
Go.
All right. There's one called the 360 Fly VR camera. All right. And this is looks
like a little eyeball.
Well, yeah, or just a ball. And I think I can't tell from the picture, but I think there's just a lens on one side on this. So it's not going to be, well, how can it be 360 with one lens? Maybe there's one on the other side. I don't know. We'll have to look that up. But anyway, this is designed kind of so you can, and viewing, if you got a 360 camera, then you need, what are they producing? How do you see that? Well, you can use Google Cardboard or a VR viewer. Lots of VR was at the show, virtual reality. So you can put your phone into a little holder and hold it up to your eyes and turn around. And as you move, then of course the picture spins 360 as well. Or you can see it on YouTube. You can view photospheres. You just kind of grab with your mouse and pull them around to take a look at what is in the different areas as well. Okay, so that's enough for 360s. We'll have to get some actual hands-on ones to get really any more on that. All right, Rhonda, you're up.
Do you shoot 360?
I have that Ricoh, which I'll find while you're talking and put it on the camera.
So do we get to talk about old stuff, new stuff?
No,
What do you want?
no, I don't think so.
No?
No, go ahead. I'm just kidding you.
I love it, Jay. Okay, so let me roll up to some of my notes on things that I saw.
I thought you'd have had that done while I was talking. I gave you a lot of time.
Something that you don't usually like very well, but Lee Filters just came out with a new starter kit.
Yeah, I don't like Lee or I don't like filters.
You don't like filters.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter if it's Lee or anything.
No, it doesn't.
It's not that I don't like them. I don't have that much of a use for them. Other people might. That's just me.
Oh, yeah. I think they're great for when you're having to do landscape photography. Anyway, they just put out a new starter kit, and it's $152 with. If you've ever looked at Leaf filters, that's a pretty good price because usually they're pretty doggone expensive.
So are these like are these that you hold in front of the lens, or do you have a filter holder?
No, this actually comes with a filter holder.
Okay.
So it comes with the holder, and then it comes with a 0.6 hard graduated neutral density filter. So for $152, I thought that's not too bad. Something that I'd use for doing landscape photography.
All right. Well, there you go.
There you go.
These are graduated neutral densities. Is that what you said? Okay. Yeah. Those are handy. Those come in good.
Yeah.
Or you could take 2 exposures and combine them in Photoshop.
That's right.
If it's not moving, then
Right. That's true.
maybe it's just me. Okay. All right. So here's some other wacky stuff we saw at CES here, and this is okay. I'm looking at my notes here. And my notes have all completely
Disappeared.
slipped here. What the heck's happened here? Okay, here we go. All right, so here's something that also was at CES, and this is the Zeiss iPhone lenses. So who knew your iPhone could actually take interchangeable lenses? No, I can't.
I was going to say, that's a huge lens to put on an iPhone.
Yeah. So if you look at the image here that we're looking at on this website, Zeiss has teamed up with Exo lenses, and so they're making these high-end lenses that attach to your iPhone. So there's a bracket that you put your iPhone in, and then you attach this. They have several different lenses of these. They've got like macro lens, and they've got telephoto, and they're going to be $200-$300.
And most of the time, though, when you get those lenses that goes on your iPhones, they're the size of a dime. This is the size of a lens.
Size of this is actually this is like a tennis ball, at least from the one I'm looking at here. So that's going to change your nice pocketable iPhone into a big honking camera. So the advantages. Tell me again now. I guess you don't have to buy a camera; you just buy the lens. But here's the thing. Okay, these are not new. These supplementary lenses have been around many times of many years, and the manufacturers have kind of run these up the flagpole because it's much cheaper to build a camera that just has a screw thread on the front of the existing lens than actually remove the lens and have another one attached to it. So these have been around. And probably, anybody that's owned a video camera, these were available for your video cameras all the way back for 30 years or better. So the thing that always is the case with these is that when you combine an auxiliary lens on top of your existing lens, it is never as good as replacing the whole lens with a different lens.
Right.
So for $300, what's the quality like? Now these are Zeiss, okay, so they know how to make lenses.
Yeah, name's good.
And they're probably going to be as good as they possibly can be for this type of a lens. But I'm going to have to see some sample pictures. And even then, I'm like, do I want to shoot with my iPhone? Do I want to take a big honking lens and drag it around and then attach it to my iPhone? Or do I just want a camera?
Yeah, get your DSLR out.
For $300, I could get a pretty nice camera that I wouldn't need this lens.
That's true.
And I could just keep my iPhone for making computer calls and phones and internet and stuff and apps and playing
maybe
Frozen
quick
Free
little
Fall.
shots.
Yeah, I don't see this. Okay, this is.
Yeah, well.
But as usual, they didn't ask me. So, but maybe it's cool. Maybe if you have an opinion on this, we always like to hear differing opinions. You can post it on our website at coolphototools.com, or you can put it in the notes from the video on our YouTube channel at Cool Photo Tools.
I'll tell you the one thing that's going to sell it is just the name, Zeiss. That will sell it. Kind of like how people do iPhones. The name will sell.
We shall see. We shall see. Rhonda says these are going to sell because they're Zeiss.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
Well, it looks like Seagate put out a new slim hard drive.
Oh, Seagate, the hard drive manufacturer. How slim is it?
It looks like it's pretty slim. What does it say here?
I thought you'd already have this down.
Now. It's 2 terabytes. So it's it looks like about the size of it doesn't, why does it not say how big this is? It looks like the size of a credit card, but a little thicker.
Okay, well, that's pretty little.
That's pretty little.
Yeah.
And comes with 200 gigabytes of Microsoft OneDrive for 2 years when you buy it. So you get actual on the cloud hard drive space too.
So this is if you need supplementary hard drive space that's easy to transport, move around, or put in your pocket.
Which we all do.
Okay, then there you go. Seagate's got one that's not too much bigger than a credit card, Rhonda says.
Yeah.
Any price on that listed? Or probably not that much.
No, they don't.
Yeah, we'll put a link to it in the show notes here.
Doesn't have a price on it. Interesting.
Okay.
But
Well,
hard
a lot of
drives
stuff at
have
CES
all
doesn't
come
have
down.
Yeah, a lot of stuff at CES doesn't have prices on it yet. They're still running it up the flagpole, kind of seeing what their competition's doing.
So what do you want to go with next?
Well, next up, Olympus has these 4/3 cameras, which also are the same mount that the Panasonics have. They're called Micro 4/3, and they have come out with a new lens, which is the 300 millimeter f4, which has image stabilization, supposedly up to 6 stops of shake reduction with this image stabilization. And this is the M.Zuiko Digital ED 300 IS Pro. Now, that's one of the problems with some of the 4/3 cameras and also some of the mirrorless cameras just in general is they don't really have long telephoto lenses available, certainly not zooms past about the 200 millimeter mark. So all of a sudden, ba-boom, here is a 300. Okay, so if we translate that into 35 millimeter equivalence terms, you're looking at 600 millimeter equivalent on an f4 lens. That's pretty smoking big. Now here is the problem with this. This is not a zoom. So it's fixed at 600 millimeters.
So it's not small.
Yeah, I don't know what the price is on this yet. I'm sure it's not going to be free or cheap. But what do you do with a 600 millimeter lens or a 600 millimeter equivalent lens? Rhonda, what would you do with one lens like that?
Oh, I'd be out shooting birds and trees.
Okay, so this is a wildlife photographer's lens pretty much. And birds would be the thing that comes to mind on this. Now, if you take a lens like this, even to the zoo, it's too long.
Yeah.
Even the animals that are in captivity are
going to be too,
unless
unless
you're
you
just
want
trying
an
to do,
eyeball shot.
Yeah, eyeballs or head and shoulders on that bird. So this lens is not going to be for everybody. This is
So it's fixed at 600 millimeters.
yeah. Well, it's actually a 300, but it's on a 4/3 camera. It's 600 millimeter equivalent.
Right. You know what I question though with the image that we're going to put up to show this? Why did they show an image where they've got water all over the camera and the lens?
Well, because it's weather sealed.
Yeah, is that what they're?
Yeah, it's because it's a pro lens, so it's going to be able to take a little splashing here and there, and not worry too much about it. Now it's not submersible, but it is water splash proofed, or we'll have to see exactly what term they use on that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, Nikon, they had a couple more cameras besides at least one more besides the one that was D5. They have the D500 announced there, and the D500 is an APS-C sensor. So has the 1.5 crop factor there, and so that's kind of like the D5, except a couple features are different. It doesn't have the ISO isn't as high.
Yeah.
But it's but number one still is their flagship APS-C camera and 20.9 megapixel sensor with the new processor that they have.
Touch
and it's
screen.
got the same 153-point autofocus system with the 99 good types and the others that are not so good. 10 frames per second. That's pretty
Not bad.
Pretty good.
The other one was 12. Not bad.
So not that much different. And here's something that's kind of cool that sometimes you don't see this mentioned, but this is really almost as helpful. Besides the fast frames per second, how much can the buffer hold before it stops shooting?
Right.
So for those of you that are new to this, the buffer in a camera holds the picture. So if you're shooting at 10 frames per second, and how many frames or how many seconds can you shoot before the buffer is full? Now, the buffer, if the buffer fills up, that means that the camera stops working, and you have to wait for the camera memory to write the pictures to the memory card. They don't go right to the memory card. They go to the buffer first. And so, if you have a buffer of, 15 to 19 images, which is typical in a lot of cameras, you can shoot maybe a second, 2 seconds, and then you have to wait. And you might have, depending on the speed of your memory card and your camera, you might wait 4 or 5 seconds before you can shoot again. Well, and then the action it's over, it's gone, right? So that's going to be a downside. Now here, the Nikon one has 79 images before it fills up,
which is amazing.
So that is good on you, Nikon. We needed that big time. That's very helpful for action. Make that buffer big.
Mm-hmm. And the price isn't bad on this camera.
Yeah, this one under $2,000. So that's a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper.
Yeah, and probably for most people, it's going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, touchscreen LCD. It's got really pretty much the same features. The ISO only goes to 1,640,000. So that's about half. That's a stop different than the other one, but still good.
Mm-hmm.
Nikon, you done good here. Makes me proud. I feel a lot better now that Nikon's doing something. Had me worried there. And those rumors about Nikon joining forces with Samsung, because Samsung probably has discontinued all their cameras. But anyway, that was a rumor. That was all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody's like, no, that didn't happen. Okay, well, good. So we reported it. So it keeps us in the forefront. If we don't have some really good rumors out there, we're just not doing our job. What else you got, Rhonda?
Oh gosh, is everything Nikon? Is Nikon just gone crazy up there?
Nikon was rocking CES. I tell you what.
Wow, they've got out a new flash.
Okay, now this one, go ahead. You can talk about this, but I'm just going to protest first. All right.
Why are you protesting? Let me hear the protest first before I go any further.
Okay, this is an on-camera flash.
Yeah.
All right. And what's the price point of this thing?
What's the price point or the
What's
prize
it sell for?
Point?
No. Price.
I'm not seeing the price. What is the price on this one?
It's $600, $599.
Well, that's about what Canons are. Close.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna include Canon in this. Like, what are you thinking? $600 for an on-camera flash? What could be in there? It's all electronics.
True.
Come on, people. There's not even any mechanical parts in it. Somebody's making big bucks on this. This is a profit center, and I disapprove very strongly of that kind of a price point. I don't think there's any technology in there that justifies that kind of money. This is bad, you guys. I think you could buy studio quality strobes for less money than that. That are smoke and flash power, portability. You can get them to have great big batteries you can honk around with you. And maybe that's a better alternative. There's a point where all this automation, is like, really? Do you need that? I mean,
I'm going to come to one to fish.
Well, I'm not done.
Okay, all right.
I'm not done.
Hold on. Let me get the soapbox out for him.
That's right. Just put it under my chair. So the thing about this is if you need supplementary lighting, on your camera,
right?
And you buy one of these flash units and you slip it into the hot shoe on the top of your DSLR, which is the most convenient spot. Now, congratulations. Now you have the worst possible light you can imagine, right? This is the same light that we used to use on Kodak Instamatics in the 1970s. Right above the lens, flat, featureless, 10 feet, inky black background. Yeah, I want to spend $600 for a light that does that, right? No, I don't. I don't even want to see that. If you can't move the flash off the camera, this is not a professional deal. There's no excuse for shooting that camera with a removable flash on the camera. So the hot shoe really should just be an accessory shoe, and at the very least you need a cable to move that thing, or some kind of a wireless deal. And maybe there's some wireless in there. But again, how much does wireless cost? Wireless doesn't cost $500, right? You can get a whole camera phone that's got wireless stuff in it for a couple $100. So I'm waiting for somebody to explain this to me, because I just think this is not good. Don't buy these. Buy a studio strobe, buy studio gear to go with your camera. Don't stick one of these, or buy a third party for $80 or $90. There's just nothing in there that's worth that much money. Okay, I'm done.
Wow. How do you come up from behind that one? Okay.
Well, you could disagree with me.
The one thing that I defend them with is they've finally put in radio triggers with a line of sight to 100 feet. So
these are line of sight? Mm-hmm. So they're infrared. So essentially.
To 100 feet.
So they're not even radio. They're just...
they are radio. It says that they're
Well, I have a
built-in
TV remote.
radio.
If it's radio, it shouldn't need to be line of sight.
Well, let me see what it says.
Or maybe they just mean
Yeah, I think that they
distance-wise.
just mean distance-wise
Okay.
on it.
All right. Well, okay. Well, good. Radio.
So
okay.
that...
I have a remote control that from my TV set to the remote control that's radio controlled. And, and it didn't cost, it was like $30. So...
But if you buy like a couple of pocket wizards, you're going to be investing a lot of money to put on a flash. If they can do this and actually make it where you're not needing pocket wizards to put 100 feet on a flash,
well,
yeah, I can see where the price comes from.
Or could it be that it's just, that it's expensive because they're only going to sell 5 or 6 of these, and your manufacturing cost is way up there. I mean 10 or 12, not very many. Enough to, that if you can sell them a billion of something, your manufacturing costs drop way down. But if you don't, then I don't know.
Okay, and here it says.
Somebody let me know. Drop me an email.
They do high speed and TLL metering from afar. So that there's another thing. So you've got your flash off at 100 feet and you can do TLL through it. And
through the lens metering, because you as a pro camera owner cannot calculate the proper setting for your flash unit on manual. So you have to rely on TTL, which is not very reliable, people. It just isn't. If you're relying on that, I don't know.
Okay, Nikon, scrap this one.
See,
Jay didn't like it.
It's not just Nikon. You're right. Canon's in the same boat.
Yeah, they
anybody's
do.
selling this flash unit stuff. I'm suspicious here. I'm thinking there's money to be made. We should start our own flash unit manufacturing company. We could get some of those ones that are made in. Well, they're all made in China, so it's like, I don't know. I think there's profit to be made there, and somebody's making it, and it's not me. So
now Jay's going to go into camera flash manufacturing.
Well, maybe not. It's it's a lot easier.
He'll have me sitting at his kitchen table putting the electronics together.
I find that it's much easier just to sit in my chair and complain about something than actually do anything about it.
There you go.
Don't you agree?
Yeah.
As watchdogs for the industry, I think we just it's just the way things roll.
It's the way it rolls.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
And doing it well.
That's right. And you know what time it is?
Already?
It is.
Wow.
And I just got my soapbox, and I was just on a roll today.
Yes. Yes, he was.
Also, did you enjoy our first video episode?
Did I?
Yeah,
or did
did you?
they? I hope everybody did.
Oh, we're going to get hate mail. I can't. Turn it off. Just use the blank screen. Oh, it's good.
That could be too. Yeah, it was interesting. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like.
Okay, well, this was our first chance at it, and we did throw a few things in there.
Yes, we did.
On the overlay for you to take a look at, and we did probably at least I did a little more whining and complaining than I normally do, which is quite a bit actually. So
maybe,
but like I say, it's one of those things where it's got to be done. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we're going to try this again next week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever he said, exactly.
We're going to try this again. We're going to try this again next week. So until then, everybody have a great week. Take lots of pictures, and don't just accept things. Stand up and complain.
Yeah,
You
there
bet.
you go. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Cool Photo Tools podcast. Sign up for our mailing list at coolphototools.com. Got a question? Send an email or MP3 audio file to info@coolphototools.com. Thanks for listening.